For this interview with Mr. Dawson, we met up on Zoom. I chose to interview Mr. Ean Dawson for this class assignment because of his many years of experience at being an independent artist, and not just an artist, but an accomplished one. This interview for me is a reminder of the fundamentals of what it takes to be successful at being an independent artist. In fact, every time over the years I've spoken to Mr. Dawson, I've learned something new about being a successful artist. I took this as an opportunity to freshen up on my writing, editing, as well as my interviewing skills. I took this interview as yet another reminder to stay the indie creative path. Now, without further ado, let's check it out. All right, so we're here with Ean Dawson, a.k.a. Slapmaster of Slapmaster Productions, correct?
Yes, sir.
All righty. And Ean is do you mind if I call you Ean?
You call me whatever you want, bro.
um, so Ean is an accomplished indie music producer from the Bay Area. And I want to thank you for joining us today for this brief informational interview. So let's get right to it, man. What led you to become a indie music producer, and how does it fit with your overall career goals and path?
Man, that's gonna be a long one. I was always interested on how I'm 42 years old, so I got into it when I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old as far as like getting into hip hop and rap music. And I always wondered um the process of making the music. Me and my older brother Harold, uh we used to have like he had like a tape player downstairs that you could put a record on and plug a microphone in. And we used to do little raps and stuff like that, but I always wondered what it was like to make the beats. So I just kind of, over time, figured out how people were making beats and stuff like that. And it's something I've been doing since I was young to where I'm at now. It was a lifestyle that became my career, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So that segues us right into our next question.
Mhm.
So, what does a day in the life of an indie producer look like?
Um, in the beginning, when I wasn't really like popping, it was consistently networking and going to different studios and stuff like that, and finding out where there were shows, where there was big names, and going to those shows and trying to get your face seen, trying to get connections, trying to get people to listen to your beats. And then once you become, I guess, what you call established, um, my days are they're pretty simple. I wake up in the morning. I usually have a workload, like somebody needs some beats or somebody needs their music mixed and mastered. I get that knocked out. I might make a couple of beats to throw up on the internet to for people to purchase, and I kind of like keep my eye out on any shows or anything of people that are kind of have a big name that I've made music for, so I can go to those shows and be seen and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. You're not to get too far off topic, but yeah, man, you're a pretty prolific producer. Um, so let's see. What advice do you have for someone seeking to enter this type of career path?
Um, I would have to say, don't think you can do it from just the internet. It's not going to work from just the internet. You literally, I mean, this what worked for me is the fact that I think people could put a face to the name and not and a face to the music instead of just, oh, who made the beat and hear the name and never see the person or anything like that. I notice people who aren't afraid to get out and actually shake the hands and kiss the babies in a politic type of sense, you know what I mean, are the ones that really flourish in this.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, so do you had any mentors, and how has that helped shape your career and success?
The first producer that had a professional studio that I worked with, his name was Johnny Z. that was downtown Vallejo, and he's produced hit records like Back to the Hotel for In Too Deep, Rump Shaker. I can't remember what that group was called, but yeah, he was from Vallejo, and that was the first real studio I stepped foot into and was able to really kind of sit back and see how he got down. So whether he knew it or not, he was kind of a mentor because I was able to kind of sit there and see how he worked things, how he worked, how he conducted himself with people and stuff like that.
Okay, okay. So moving along, so what skills or talents are most essential to be effective in this field?
Uh, you got to know music. You got to know how to play music. With technology now, a lot of people don't play with their fingers. They'll use a mouse and they'll write the music in, which is cool. But in my opinion, in my experience, people who don't know how to play the music but know how to pencil it in, the beats will sound dope, but they're hecka robotic. There's no fluid to it, as opposed to somebody who is musically talented that knows how to play the keyboard or can hear something and replay it. Um, those people usually, when they make music, their beats usually have a different flow to it. You know
Right.
what I mean? A different bounce, different flow. It's not so robotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can relate. I for sure can relate to that. How is the economy affecting your industry?
Um, it is. COVID affected it really, really much so. Um, as far as I think people just having money to spend to get their music done. Um, Technology is good because you can just about do sessions over the internet without even being in front of somebody anymore. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, everything costs money. So the way the economy is right now, with the way inflation is going up and what happened with COVID, um, it it slowed it down. I can't lie, it slowed it down. But some people got their PPP money and spent it. You know what I mean, on studio stuff or music stuff too at the same time. So it's kind of a give and take, I would say. Like me, I'm working out of the house now. I had an actual studio in Vallejo, as you know that, and I had it for 10 years and closed it down. And that alone right there was a big hit financially for me. But when I relocated here to Texas, the cost of living's cheaper. I'm able to put a studio in one of my spare rooms, and since I've built up a network for all these years, you know what I mean, I can still consistently have um, clientele coming in. It's not as much as I had in Vallejo, and it definitely got cut a little bit with this COVID thing, but it's still, me being a go-getter and a hustler anyways, I'm gonna make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's interesting that you brought up the monetary aspects of this. And this is the last question under the topic of trends. What are the salary ranges for various levels in this field? What is what is the job outlook?
It could be you don't make nothing to like me. I'll be honest with you. I mean, a low year, I might make like maybe 35, 40,000. Good year might be 100,000. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, what am I doing with the money that I have coming in? Am I reinvesting it into things to make more money, or am I tricking it off on stuff I shouldn't be buying anyways? You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, for the students out there who don't know what tricking off mean, just give them a
Mhm.
quick a quick definition
All
there.
right, tricking your money off. Tricking your money off basically means just spending your money on things you shouldn't be spending it on. You know, in the Bay Area, it's you know, I don't even want to go there because they don't want that definition. But
Okay.
tricking your money off basically is like you always going and buying shoes and clothes and buying cigarettes all the time, and you know what I'm saying, just buying stuff that you really don't need. You know what I'm saying, at the moment. You know what I mean? Uh, if you live a frugal life and just are cool and just know how to shop and cook for yourself, as far as like go grocery shopping, cook for yourself and stuff like that, I mean, you'll be fine. But if you're getting your money and you're tricking it off on going out to eat all the time and stuff like that, you're not gonna get ahead.
Right, right. So I have four more questions for you here.
Yeah.
The next topic is insights. Okay, and the first question is: do you find your job exciting or boring, and why?
Um, I always find it exciting. There are elements of it that are boring as far as like where music is going. Where music is going as far as like the engineering part and what's allowed into music is just very cookie cutter and boring and it almost seems like it's a reflection of this new generation. Like they're not really want to get up and do things. Like they want everything already pre-programmed in just one button push type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
As I come from a generation where we didn't even have computers at one time, you know, so me getting up and having to do all this work to have a masterpiece, I I'm okay with that. Other people believe that making a masterpiece is just like pushing a button or two, you know. So that's the boring part is I notice that for me to adapt with today's sound, I have to do things that are simply simple, easy, and they're boring to me. And they're very elementary. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really challenge me when it comes to making music. Now, the more intricate stuff I make as far as production, beats 10 years ago, someone would have easily spent thousands of dollars on. People won't even pick those up now.
Yeah, yeah. The the scope of artistry has definitely changed. But
It's
I
almost here. Let me add this. If you notice, if you listen to music today, especially hip hop, distortion is considered a good sound now, as opposed 10 years ago, you couldn't have no distortion in rap music. Like everything had to be clean and pristine, and that's any type of music. Everything had to be clean and pristine. I mean, I can't talk for like heavy metal or anything like that, but you listen to 808s, how the 808s and the 808 is a drum. If people don't know, you know, a sub drum. If you listen to 808s today, they're all distorted and stuff. 10 years ago, someone would have told you, man, don't do that. That's going to blow your speakers out. It's going to damage things. So now we have that as a sound, and little do people know you're actually damaging your sound systems playing this music now. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. That's I mean, yeah, that's
And that's
Sa-
considered a good sound now.
SoundCloud. You got SoundCloud to thank for that. What interests you least about the job or creates the most stress?
People who just don't know what they're doing, or they hop in music or rap music just to be a talking subject amongst their friends and not doing it because they're really good at it or it's their passion. You know what I mean? Which the game is filled with all that now. You know what I mean? So yeah, just people just jumping in just to jump in so they can say they're a rapper or a producer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, like
It's a cool thing to be. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's like they joining gangs for the same reasons.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're getting down to our last two questions here. The next topic is advice. Okay,
Uh-huh.
um, do you have any advice for someone interested in this field?
Uh yeah, my advice would be know it's something that you're gonna do. If you're gonna enter the actual field and you don't know how to make music or play music or understand music, maybe take some classes to understand music theory. Um, if you're dope at making, you can play the piano and stuff like that. Make sure you have a 9 to 5. Have a 9 to 5 so you can purchase your equipment, and little by little you purchase your equipment. You start making beats for people. Next thing you know, you save up enough money to buy a little spot like a studio somewhere. Start setting up there, and next thing you know, you have your own homegrown business.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's some good advice. That's a lot of artists need to hear that advice. Now, in closing, our last question: do you have any special words of warning or encouragement as a result of your experience in this field?
Yeah, uh don't listen to your friends. And what I mean by listen to your friends, like make the music that you like to make and make it without feeling guilty. You know what I mean? You know what you like and you know what your clients like. Your friends aren't your fans, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Friends are always going to have, oh, you should do this, you should do that. But 9 times out of 10, those friends aren't even doing what you're doing. So, uh, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Your friends ain't your fans. Um, People who don't know you that talk, that try to say that you're not good, let that go in one ear and out the other. Only pay attention to the people who want to work with you, or the people who show you positive feedback, positive comments, or constructive criticism. If someone tells you they don't like something, and they're able to tell you maybe you could do it this way or that way, you don't have to take it, but keep those people close too. You know what I mean? At least they give you an option with why they don't like it. You know what I mean? As opposed to someone just being a hater. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
for sure. For sure. I want to thank you formally for joining us today and taking out the time in your busy schedule to answer these questions. Hopefully, you offered enough insight to my fellow students here at Kirkwood.